y'all, Melissa here with you today, and today we're going to be talking about troubleshooting the tension on your serger. If you don't have automatic tension like this machine has, and you have tension dials like this machine has, this is going to help you out to make sure that your stitching is correct. So the reason I used 4 different colored threads is so you could very easily see which thread is doing what. So you can see when you stitch, you put the fabric through this way. Here's the left needle in yellow, here's the right needle in red, the upper looper is the green visible on this side, and the lower looper is this light blue visible on the back side. And this is what a balanced stitch looks like. So the first clue is there's no loopers hanging way off the edge of the fabric. You can see the right and left needles on the right side of the fabric, and on the wrong side of the fabric you can barely see them. If this left needle was coming out in any bigger loops than it is, then you would want to tighten up the tension on that one. So this is what a balanced stitch looks like. Let me show you. I sewed a bunch of samples here that are unbalanced so you can see what that looks like. So here I messed with the tension of the lower looper. And you can see if the lower looper thread is too loose, it starts coming onto the right side and it's hanging off the edge of the fabric. Conversely, if it is too tight, which is what I did here, you can't see it at all on the right side, but you can see this green thread of the upper looper is getting pulled onto the back side. In fact, you really can't even see any of that light blue thread back here, and that means this is way too tight on that lower looper. Here I played with the tension on the upper looper. So you can see that when it is too loose, then threads are hanging off the edge of the fabric here. They're going beyond the edge of the fabric, and they're visible on the back side. I shouldn't really see the upper looper fabric or thread on the back side of the fabric. When it is too tight, so that upper looper is too tight. Do you see how I don't even see any green on this side? It's just pulling all that blue looper thread onto the right side. And you can also see how even though I didn't change the tension of the left needle, you see these series of yellow loops back here that I shouldn't see because those should be just visible on the right side and then tiny little loops on the wrong side. If the needle tension is off, so here is the right needle, and here the right needle is too loose. And on the right side, it doesn't look terribly different. But if you look to the wrong side when it's too loose, you've got all kinds of visible thread on the wrong side that I shouldn't see. Conversely, when it is too tight, it didn't even finish the seam. Like it was being pulled so tight, and you can see it's pulling those blue lower looper threads onto the right side. I shouldn't see those in between the red stitching here. And it didn't even finish the seam. Like the thread just pulled out and it wasn't even going anymore. And this was about to break. We see similar problems when the left needle is messed with. Here it's too loose and you can see it's not laying flat like it should be. And it's all loopy on the back, which we should not have. And when it's too tight, it's ruffling everything up. Like the right needle thread, it didn't even finish sewing the seam. It was fixing to break here. And on the back side, it's like pulling, and you can even start to see on the right side, in between those yellow stitches, there's a little bit of blue showing through there that should not be. So those are what incorrect tensions look like. And my biggest tip for beginners is if you're having trouble with your tension, you can't get it balanced, thread with some different colored threads because it helps you really tell which tension is out of alignment. Also, in the process of rethreading, you may lay your threads back in those tension discs correctly, and it could have just been that the thread got pulled out of the tension disc, so you can't, no turning on the dial is going to help it, but rethreading would solve that problem. So rethread with different colored threads. Check out this playlist to see more sewing tips, tricks, and questions answered as you're learning to sew.